Have you ever wondered if having a partner after 70 could do you more harm than good? Most people assume that companionship is always the answer to loneliness, but the truth may not be so simple. At a certain age, the wrong kind of partnership can weigh on your health, your finances, and even your peace of mind. In this video, we are going to explore 5 reasons why having a partner after 70 might not be the blessing people think it is. This does not mean love and companionship are bad, but it does mean that the risks are real and you deserve to know them. By the end, you will understand how certain relationships can turn toxic and why protecting your freedom and happiness matters more than ever at this stage of life. Stay tuned until the end, because the reasons we will cover may surprise you. You might discover that walking alone can sometimes be healthier, calmer, and more rewarding than walking with the wrong person. Now, let us get started. Number 1. The burden on your health. One of the first reasons a partner can feel like poison after 70 is the hidden toll it takes on your health. At this stage of life, your body is more sensitive to stress, lack of sleep, and emotional strain. If a relationship adds more arguments than peace, or more demands than comfort, your health can begin to decline in ways you might not immediately notice. Medical studies often show that constant stress raises blood pressure, weakens the immune system, and contributes to heart problems. But you do not need a doctor's chart to recognize it. Think about the way your chest feels tight after a heated argument, or how your sleep is restless when you go to bed upset. When companionship turns into conflict, those small daily tensions pile up, and before long, they take a serious toll. Take the example of Gerald, a 78-year-old retired carpenter. After his wife passed, he met someone new and felt excited about starting again. But he soon realized that the relationship came with constant criticism and endless demands on his time. Gerald found himself feeling more tired, skipping his morning walks, and struggling to sleep through the night. His doctor noticed his blood pressure had spiked, and Gerald began to wonder if the relationship he thought would bring him comfort was actually draining his health. The truth is, your health is your greatest asset in your later years. Without it, you cannot enjoy the time you have left. A partner who undermines that, even without meaning to, becomes a heavy burden. A peaceful and quiet life, even if it means being alone, can sometimes do far more for your well-being than the wrong companionship. Psychologically, relationships that create constant strain push the body into a state of fight or flight. That means your heart, your nerves, and your mind never get to rest. Over time, this creates exhaustion that no medicine can cure. Seniors who protect their health by choosing peace over pressure often live longer, fuller lives than those who stay tied to draining partnership. So, when you think about whether a partner is right for you, ask yourself this simple question. Do I feel healthier with them, or do I feel weaker? If the answer is weaker, then that relationship may not be a source of love. It may be a source of poison. Number 2, the risk to your finances. Another reason having a partner after 70 can be harmful is the financial strain that often comes with it. At this stage in life, your income is usually fixed, and your savings are meant to support your comfort and independence. When a relationship adds pressure to spend more than you can afford, or when a partner views your resources as theirs to control, the very stability you worked decades to build can quickly erode. Money is one of the most common sources of conflict in relationships at any age, but for seniors, it carries heavier consequences. There is little time to rebuild what is lost. A partner who encourages lavish spending, borrows without repaying, or assumes your retirement nest egg is open for their use can leave you anxious and vulnerable. What might begin as small expenses can slowly grow into a pattern that drains your security. Think of Lawrence, a 74-year-old who had lived carefully within his means. When he began seeing someone new, she often hinted at expensive dinners, trips, and gifts. Wanting to impress her, he agreed, telling himself it was harmless. But within a year, he realized his savings were shrinking faster than he had planned, and she showed little concern for his future stability. Lawrence admitted that his health and peace of mind suffered because financial stress now followed him everywhere. Psychologically, financial pressure creates constant worry. Seniors who feel uncertain about their resources often experience anxiety, sleepless nights, and a loss of confidence. Instead of enjoying retirement, they find themselves weighed down by fear of running out. The sad truth is that some partners intentionally target older men for this reason, knowing that their generosity or desire for companionship can be exploited. Your money is not just numbers on a page, it represents your independence, your ability to make choices without depending on others, and the fruit of your life's work. A partner who threatens that independence, whether through selfishness or carelessness, becomes more of a liability than a blessing. The most important question you can ask yourself is whether the relationship adds peace or financial strain. If being with someone makes you second-guess your spending, worry about bills, or sacrifice your security, the cost is far too high. At that point, what looks like companionship may actually be quietly poisoning your future. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3. The loss of personal freedom. One of the most overlooked dangers of having a partner after 70 is the quiet erosion of your personal freedom. At this stage of life, independence is precious. You finally have time to rest, pursue your hobbies, see friends when you wish, and live on your own terms. But when a relationship begins to control your schedule, dictate your choices, or limit your social connections, what you gain in companionship can come at the expense of your freedom. Many older men enter relationships hoping for gentle companionship, only to discover that their lives are slowly being rearranged. A partner may insist on controlling daily routines, from meals to outings, or demand constant attention that leaves little space for personal interests. What begins as innocent suggestions can grow into restrictions, and before long, the freedom you cherish begins to disappear. Consider the story of Frank, an 81-year-old, who loved fishing and spending afternoons with his grandchildren. When he started dating again, his new partner seemed supportive at first, but within months, she began criticizing his hobbies, complaining about his time with family, and expecting him to follow her plans instead. Frank realized that he no longer felt free to enjoy the simple joys that once gave him energy. The companionship he thought would brighten his days had turned into a cage. From a psychological perspective, autonomy is a basic human need at any age. Losing it leads to frustration, resentment, and even depression. Seniors who give up their independence often feel like they have surrendered not just control of their daily lives, but also their dignity. That feeling can be especially bitter after years of working hard to finally earn the right to live freely. The truth is that freedom is not selfish, it is survival. When you maintain independence, you stay more active, more socially connected, and more mentally sharp. A relationship that strips that away may not be worth the companionship it promises. So ask yourself this: does the relationship allow you to keep living your life the way you choose, or does it quietly trap you in someone else's expectation? If you feel more restricted than free, then having a partner may not be a source of love, but a slow poison to your spirit. Number 4. The emotional toll of constant conflict. Another powerful reason a partner can feel harmful after 70 is the emotional strain that comes from repeated arguments and unresolved tension. At this point in life, peace of mind is priceless. You have weathered enough storms to know that constant conflict robs you of joy and leaves scars on your spirit. Yet, many older men stay in relationships where arguments become routine, forgetting how destructive that can be. Emotional conflict does not always show up as shouting or slamming doors. Sometimes it looks like steady criticism, cold silences, or subtle manipulation that makes you question yourself. These forms of conflict can be just as damaging because they wear down your confidence and make you feel unworthy. Over time, even a man who once felt strong can begin to doubt his own value. Think of Charles, a 76-year-old who spent his life building a reputation as a patient, kind-hearted man. When he entered a relationship in his later years, he thought it would bring warmth and companionship. Instead, he found himself constantly defending his choices, apologizing for things he had not done, and trying to keep the peace at any cost. His friends noticed that he grew quieter, less enthusiastic, and more withdrawn. What drained him was not loneliness, but the endless cycle of conflict in his own home. Psychologically, conflict that never ends triggers feelings of helplessness. Seniors in particular may feel trapped because starting over seems difficult, but living with ongoing emotional turmoil has real consequences. It increases stress hormones, disrupts sleep, and weakens the immune system. Just as importantly, it steals the joy of your remaining years, turning what should be a season of rest into a battlefield. At this stage of life, you deserve calm, not conflict. A partner who constantly stirs arguments may not be bringing love into your life, but rather slowly poisoning your sense of self-worth and emotional stability. True companionship should leave you feeling lighter, not heavier. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any video. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5, the hidden strain of caregiving pressure. The final reason a partner can feel more like poison than peace after 70 is the heavy weight of unexpected caregiving responsibilities. At this age, you are likely managing your own health concerns, aches, treatments, and the natural slowing down of the body. When a relationship places the additional burden of caring for someone who is unwilling or unable to share the load, it can quietly drain the very strength you need to care for yourself. Caregiving is one of the most demanding roles a person can take on. It requires time, emotional energy, and often physical stamina. While caring for a loved one can be an act of devotion, it becomes harmful when it is one-sided, unappreciated, or more than your body can realistically handle. Seniors who find themselves constantly attending to another's needs may notice their own health slipping, their friendships fading, and their joy diminishing. Take the story of Howard, an 80-year-old widower who entered a new relationship full of hope. Within a short time, his partner began leaning on him for nearly everything: meals, errands, even household chores he struggled to manage. Howard, already coping with arthritis, felt guilty saying no. Over time, his back pain worsened, his hobbies disappeared, and his visits with his grandchildren grew rare. What he thought would be companionship slowly turned into a second full-time job that left him exhausted and lonely in a different way. From a psychological perspective, constant caregiving without support leads to burnout. Feelings of resentment and isolation creep in, often accompanied by guilt for not being able to give more. The sad reality is that many seniors lose their own health trying to preserve someone else's, leaving both people worse off in the end. At this stage in life, you must guard your limited energy fiercely. A partner who expects more care than you can reasonably provide may not be giving you love. They may be taking away your independence, your vitality, and your chance to enjoy the years ahead. Love. It should feel like balance, not burden. When the scales tip so heavily that you cannot recognize your own life anymore, the relationship becomes less of a gift and more of a quiet poison. Protecting yourself from that fate is not selfish. It is wise, and it ensures that the time you have left is lived with dignity and joy. Final thoughts. As we wrap up this video, take a moment to reflect on the 5 reasons we explored together. After 70, your health, your finances, your freedom, your peace of mind, and your energy are more valuable than ever. A partner who drains those things can quietly take away the very joys you have worked your whole life to enjoy. This message is not meant to scare you away from love or companionship. It is meant to remind you that not all relationships are blessings. Some are burdens that grow heavier with time. By recognizing these warning signs, you give yourself permission to protect what matters most: your independence, your dignity, and your peace. So, I want to ask you, which of these reasons struck the deepest chord with you? Have you seen these patterns in your own life, or perhaps in the lives of friends your age? Your reflections can be a guiding light, not just for yourself, but for others who may be silently struggling with the same questions. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, and so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.